Hello, and welcome to part three of our second installment, which is covering senior and key personnel in a budget. In this video, we will go over how to take percent effort and apply it to an actual budget spreadsheet as well as a budget justification. Now for the part that usually scares people away. If you have seen our entire budget, it is hefty and it could be a little intimidating. My recommendation is simplify it if you can. Hide the cells that you don't need. Just be careful about ones that auto calculate across multiple years. If the project has one personnel for 1 year, hide the cells you don't need. Our example professor, Dr. Smith, has a 9-month contract, a base salary of $65,000, the fiscal year 2026 fringe rate, and the allowed standard raise for the University of Illinois system, which is 1%. Let's say Dr. Smith calculated their percent earlier that ended up being 5.56%, and they are only working during the academic year. They are not working during the summer. After entering those items, the only additional thing that Dr. Smith needs is to tell us if that is contract effort only or if there is that expectation of summer stipend or service in excess, in which case that tells us we're going to have to ask for a few more approvals and make sure it's allowed. Now that was the internal budget, does all of the UIS calculation. A lot of sponsors have their own template. So we will take the information that comes from our template and just put the important numbers into the sponsor template. In this case, in year one, Dr. Smith is asking for $3,614. That is all I need to know for senior personnel right now. So in this budget, where section A is senior key personnel, I am going to enter everything I need to. This sponsor did require fringe benefits in the senior personnel line, so that did go ahead to a future video. That was calculated at that 47.03%, which is where that 1,700 came from. In research.gov, this is a different kind of template that you might see. Section A is still senior or key personnel. And instead of asking for calendar month, academic month, or summer month, the sponsor doesn't care. A month is a month. And then this budget, if you do state of Illinois grants, this budget might be familiar to you. It's a little bit different what you need to put in. Theirs is just personnel. It does not specify key personnel, and it asks a couple of other things. Once you have a budget finalized, it has to match your budget justification. You can't just say, I want $3,614. There has to be a rationale and a cost basis of where you got that number. And it does depend on the sponsor. If they have an example or if they have a template, use that. It should always include the name of the personnel. If it is someone who has not been hired yet, to be named, to be announced, to be decided is acceptable. Just note that the sponsor might require a formal amendment before they will issue the award. You should indicate their role, if that is co-investigator, principal investigator, co-principal investigator, statistician. That should be indicated. Effort should be indicated. And the sponsor will typically tell you whether they want it in months or percent or even FTE, which is full-time equivalent. Sometimes they'll want one or two of these. It is helpful to include the responsibilities so that the sponsor can see if the work being done matches the amount of money being requested. Sometimes it's helpful to list experience or expertise in the justification, base salary. Some sponsors want to know what the base salary is, to know what 5.56% means. Some specifically do not want this. Pay attention to your sponsor. If it is a multi-year project, use escalation rates. Account for those raises. Some years a raise is 1%, sometimes 2, sometimes 3. But we do expect salaries to go up every year generally. And when we say a year in the justification, we should indicate whether we are speaking about the academic year, the fiscal year, the state fiscal year versus the federal fiscal year, they are different, or whether we're speaking about a calendar year. That will inform the sponsor of exactly what you are asking. So here is one sample. It has the name, it has the role, it lists the effort in academic months, it defines an academic year because I used academic months. It does not explicitly name her base salary, but it does say it's based on current scales. The standard 1% raise is anticipated. Dr. Smith is responsible for several things. She has expertise and can successfully complete this work. So that's one that is a little more vague. Here's one that is a little more specific. Again, it has the name, it has the role. This one is indicated in percent effort and converted to full-time equivalency. If you are not sure how to do that, you take your percent and you just put it into decimal form. 5.6% is roundabout equivalent to 0.06. Here again, academic year is defined. The institutional base salary is explicitly labeled and includes a 1% standard merit raise. And then I do not believe I have changed the bottom half of that justification. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to review our budget series. In our next installment number 3, we will be going over non-senior personnel, which are also often called other personnel in budgets and budget justification.